Imagine a peaceful afternoon at a roadside BBQ pit stop, the smell of sizzling meat in the air, and families enjoying a sunny day. Suddenly, the roar of engines breaks the calm as a pack of bikers pulls in, bringing a storm of noise and attitude. Among the patrons is a quiet, unassuming man, just an older gentleman enjoying his meal alone. But when the bikers decide to single him out for mockery, they have no idea they've picked the wrong target. You see, this retired Marine may have left the battlefield behind, but his courage and discipline are far from retired. What unfolds next is a series of events no one saw coming. An encounter that will teach lessons about respect, humility, and the true meaning of strength. Stay tuned to see how this incredible story takes an unexpected turn that will leave you absolutely speechless. As the bikers strutted around the BBQ pit stop, their loud laughter and cocky attitude turned heads. One of them, a tall leather-clad man with a sneer, noticed the quiet figure sitting near the corner table. His eyes narrowed as he whispered something to his crew, and they all chuckled, exchanging knowing glances. The man they were watching wore a simple t-shirt and jeans, his hair graying at the temples. He seemed calm, focused only on finishing his meal, not paying them any mind. With a smirk, the leader of the pack approached, casting a shadow over the older man's table. "Hey, Grandpa, enjoying your little picnic?" He mocked, the words dripping with sarcasm. His friends roared with laughter, egging him on. Still, the older man didn't flinch. He slowly set down his drink, his steady hands a quiet contradiction to the tension in the air. What happened next would be more than anyone expected. The older man calmly looked up, his eyes sharp and steady as they met the biker's mocking grin. He didn't smile, didn't react with anger, just silence that felt heavier than any insult could. This unexpected calm made the biker hesitate for a split second, but he quickly shrugged it off, doubling down with another taunt. "What's the matter? Cat got your tongue?" he sneered, leaning closer. The crowd at the pit stop grew uneasy, watching the interaction unfold. Some whispered quietly, wondering why this man wasn't fighting back or walking away. A few even felt sorry for him, assuming he was just too old to stand up to these troublemakers. But others noticed the way his hands stayed relaxed, his posture straight. There was a quiet confidence in his stillness, something that suggested experience, perhaps the kind you earn the hard way. As the tension thickened, the leader of the bikers gestured to his friends. "Maybe we should help him move along," he said, his voice full of bravado. But the next move wasn't theirs to make. The leader of the bikers grabbed a chair and scraped it loudly across the floor, spinning it backward as he sat inches from the quiet man. His crew circled closer, their leather jackets brushing shoulders as they loomed in a display of dominance. A hush fell over the onlookers as the tension reached a boiling point. The older man's expression remained unchanged. Slowly, he picked up a napkin, wiped his hands with deliberate calm, and placed it neatly on the table. The leader chuckled, mistaking this for submission. "You must have forgotten your manners, old man," he said, leaning forward. "It's polite to show some respect when people are talking to you." But before the next word left his mouth, the Marine moved. It wasn't flashy or dramatic, just one sharp, precise motion. He reached for the biker's wrist, a simple gesture that spoke volumes. The air grew electric as the crowd gasped, wondering what would happen next. The biker's grin vanished as he felt the older man's grip tighten, like a steel vise hidden beneath calm composure. His bravado faltered, eyes widening as he tried to pull his hand back, but it wouldn't budge. The crowd watched, breathless, as the quiet man finally spoke, his voice low but firm. "Respect is earned," he said, his words deliberate and razor-sharp, "not demanded." For a moment, the biker sat frozen, caught between disbelief and growing fear. He clenched his jaw, trying to keep his composure in front of his crew. "Let go," he growled, but the Marine didn't move. Instead, he slowly stood, towering over the man now trapped in his own game. His calm demeanor hadn't cracked, but the shift in power was unmistakable. Suddenly, one of the other bikers lunged forward, thinking he could catch the Marine off guard. But the older man's eyes flicked to him with a sharpness that stopped him mid-step, a silent warning that sent a chill through the group. What was supposed to be an easy show of dominance had spiraled into something far more dangerous than they ever imagined. The leader's pride burned as he yanked his arm with all his strength, but the Marine's grip held firm. With a final twist of his wrist, the older man released him, sending the biker stumbling backward into his chair. The crowd erupted in gasps and murmurs, but the Marine remained calm, his eyes scanning the group with quiet authority. "Leave," he said, his tone calm but carrying the weight of a command. For a moment, no one moved. The bikers shifted uncomfortably, their confidence drained. The leader, rubbing his sore wrist, opened his mouth to retort, but thought better of it. He scowled, muttered something under his breath, and signaled his crew to back off. As they mounted their bikes and roared away, the Marine turned back to his table, calmly picking up his drink as if nothing had happened. A few curious onlookers approached, but he simply smiled and said, "Sometimes silence speaks loudest." Then, with a nod to the stunned bystanders, he walked away, leaving behind a story that would be told for years. As the rumble of the bikes faded into the distance, the pit stop returned to its peaceful hum. Families exchanged glances, and a few people shook their heads in disbelief at what they had just witnessed. The man who had quietly commanded the entire scene was no longer a mystery. He was a reminder of the strength that comes from patience, discipline, and the confidence earned through experience. A young boy watching from the sidelines turned to his father. "Who was that man?" he asked, eyes wide with admiration. The father smiled thoughtfully. "A Marine," he said. "And a lesson that respect isn't about how loud you are. It's about how you carry yourself." The older man, now just a figure walking calmly toward the sunset, never looked back. He didn't need to. His actions spoke louder than any confrontation ever could, leaving behind a powerful message about humility, quiet courage, and the importance of standing tall in the face of disrespect.